We're going to do something a little different on the channel today. Normally we do 2 packs of baseball cards just to kind of see what's inside on this channel, Junk Wax Genius. Today it's going to be 4 packs. We're going to do Upper Deck, and I wanted to get into this because I've noticed, in my opinion, that the foil seems different. We know that Upper Deck was, I don't have 89, so we're going to do 90, 91, 92, and 93 in order. And I've noticed as I've opened more of this 93 that the foil seems to be like more foil, more plasticky, more, well, it's more tamper-proof in the sense that it's actually harder to open. You know, never mind tampering, but actually just getting into it, period. Kind of difficult. As opposed to 90 and even 91, which I think are more like kind of metallic paper. So we'll dig into it. We'll do a little compare and contrast. I will try my best to explain how they feel differently, how they open differently. Maybe we'll look at, once the cards are out, see if I can tear these, the packages a little differently so we can see kind of some differences there. But I got the feeling there's a difference between 90 and 92, even 92 and 93 in the foil that they use. We'll get into it. So 1990 Upper Deck. Still kind of groundbreaking. Sportflix, remember, had been packaging their cards in foil, tamper-proof foil, since at least '86. And Score had been using tamper-proof plastic bags since they debuted in '88. So it's not like Upper Deck was really leading the charge when they went tamper-proof in '89, but it was still a big difference over the wax that unscrupulous dealers or collectors could easily reseal. So, I pulled this one open very easily by kind of just tugging down that center seam. It's got a very easily tearable foil. This feels like paper on the inside, just kind of the way that it pulls apart in different kind of strata there. So that's what we've got for 1990. In the pack, Greg Swindell, Bob Knepper, Israel Sanchez, Greg Walker, Tom Brunansky, Brady Anderson. There's a checklist. This is going to be a long episode anyways. I'm not going to read all the names. Dennis Martinez and his unique signature kind of wind-up. Our hologram card is the Phillies team logo. Congratulations to the Phillies on their fantastic season. Bob Melvin, Cal Daniels. Here's Billy Ripken, no bat in sight. Jeff McKnight. A team checklist for the Yankees featuring, is that Steve Sachs? Yep. Tony Armas, at the end of a long distinguished career there. 14 seasons. And Jeff Innes. Jeff Innes, again, wearing a hat that looks like it's been photoshopped onto his head. Is he really wearing that hat, or was it positioned on his head? I'm gonna need votes. That looks really fake. That looks really fake too. Maybe he just had a fake looking hat. Jeff Innes and his hat. All right, that's our 1990 example. Let's do 91. This is, by the way, the Find the Nolan edition, the low series, where we could find potentially that Michael Jordan short print. The foil here, again, kind of the same paper texture, easily opened by pulling on the center seam along the back. Opens up nice and wide so I can slide the cards out. And if I do decide to pull, so there's a little bit more of a kind of a foil layer there that we can kind of see as I pull this apart. A little foil there on the front, but definitely more paper-like as we go down. So maybe a little year-over-year improvement in the actual foil packaging for Upper Deck as we get into 1991. In 1991, there's Willie Wilson, Jeff M. Robinson, Randy Milligan, Dave Bergman, Dickie Thon, Sean Bosky, Gary Pettis, Tim Tuffle, Jose Lind. That's Jose Lind. You can tell because it says here Jose plays for the Pirates, and only one of those gentlemen is wearing a Pirates uniform. Lance Johnson selecting his lumber. Jay Bell. Big fan of when Upper Deck shows pitchers at the bat or on the base paths. Greg Maddux laying down the bunt and kicking up some dust. Greg Maddux, nice card there for the professor. All right, we got a top prospect card for Reggie Sanders. There's a star rookie, Geronimo Pena. And we end with Kevin Brown. So there's our 91 Upper Deck featuring Greg Maddux. We'll take that every day of the week. Oh, and our hologram is the Yankees. I guess congratulations to them too. All right, so 92 Upper Deck. This is where the foil really starts to feel more kind of mylark, a little more plasticky, a little less papery. I don't really know the technical word for it, but just kind of trying to describe how it feels to me. No note about what the paper is actually made of, but we're going to try to rip it right down the middle again. And instead of coming apart down the seam, down the back seam, it comes apart across the top. And then kind of splinters like that. All right. You can definitely see the difference on the inside, more metallic on the inside than we had in 91. Kind of white paper, but kind of a plasticky feel. You're going to have to trust me on this. A little plasticky feel on the white paper of the 91. This definitely feels plasticky and more like a true foil. So there you have that. Let's get into our cards. On the hunt for weird eyes. Like there's Kevin Tapani, his eyes shaded by the brim of his hat, but not glowing, and otherworldly white. Pretty normal. Kevin Tapani. Jeff Russell. The acrobatic Rafael Belliard. Alex Fernandez. Darryl Hamilton. He's got not an egregious example, but the whites of his eyes are popping a little bit in the shadow of his batting helmet. Darryl Hamilton. Omar Olivares. There's Keith Miller. What is he? Looks like he's wearing Chris Sabo style rec specs, but the strap has to go over his ears. Maybe it doesn't fit under that batting helmet. Can't do both. There's a better shot. The rec specs, but the strap over his ears. Interesting. All right, good for you, Keith Miller. There's Dennis Martinez again, presumably at an all-star game. Jose Uribe. There's Billy Ripken. No bat, but behind the camera this time. Harold Baines, he's in the Hall of Fame. Alvaro Espinoza. You can decode this one by, well, seeing that his last name is Espinoza and that guy's last name is Riles. So a little bit of weird eyes there, kind of glowing white under his hat for Alvaro Espinoza. We can see it on the back of the card too. No, looks kind of normal there. All right, Alvaro Espinoza. Nice landscape layout though, Upper Deck. Good job on the horizontal card. Another horizontal card there. The team checklist features Dave Stieb. It's got to be, yep. Yankees top prospect, Carlos Rodriguez. And we end with Steve Chitrin. So there's our 92 Upper Decks. And let's finish with 93. Now this one is the most foil, the hardest to open, in my opinion, of all. Like just pulling on the little center tab here, that's really difficult. There is a little notch that Upper Deck provided in the upper right here, but I pull on this just a little bit, and like being as deliberate as I can, that's all the more I can open. So I can kind of wiggle my thumb in there and start to pull this apart. But it just doesn't want to open even along the seams like 92 did. We're making a real hash of this guy. Just destroying it. I guess that's what you want with your tamper-proof. Sometimes I use scissors. Again, very metallic, plasticky feel, very similar texturally to the year before, but maybe even more of that. Like I can't tear it in that direction. It's just not going to shear like paper will. Can I do it with the 92? Yep, 92, very easy to do. So, yep, definitely like the most tamper-proof in our 1993 Upper Deck. No notes about what it's made of. I only say that because I think it's Score Select actually tells me that the backs are made of a particular kind of polyethylene plastic. We've had this one before in a recent episode, the Boston Psy socks, Frank Viola and Roger Clemens. Royal Cormier. We talked about this on the channel as well. This says that he's from Moncton, British Columbia. There is no Moncton in British Columbia. It's one of the Maritimes. Get it right, Upper Deck. That's me feigning outrage over Upper Deck's lack of knowledge of Canadian geography. There's a Community Heroes checklist card. That's got to be Jim Abbott, right? Yep. Oh, it's the checklist for the Community Heroes. Good for you. All right. We've got Felix Jose. There's Greg Olson, the catcher, not the Baltimore reliever. Mike Felder, nice throwback Giants uni. Bill Doran. There's Frank Viola, his base card. We saw him a moment ago on that Cy Young card with Roger Clemens. I like how his grip almost looks like a P there in the Upper Deck. Lance Johnson. There's the back of Ken Caminiti, and there's the front. Ooh, laying out. Laying out for a pop foul, presumably, in the third base foul territory. Good for you, Ken. Frank Seminara and his follow-through. Nice. There's Bill Gullickson. Tim Belcher. Jose Canseco, and just glowing blue elements of that Rangers uniform. Just vivid blue for Jose Canseco. And we end with Travis Fryman fielding his position for the Tigers. So 4 packs of Upper Deck, really the focus on the 4 kinds of foil, very different as we go across the years. From 1990, which again, just rips like construction paper, to what they finally, or at least for this series, what they had in 1993 finally, Series 1. It's Junk Wax Genius, the channel on YouTube where we open old baseball cards and talk about some guys, especially their weird-looking hats. Please do like, subscribe, leave a comment, especially if you've watched this long. I thank you for this like double, triple long episode. 2 more packs tomorrow at a minimum. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.